Good morning. It is Thursday, June the 10th. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. Now, scores of Barbadians who have found themselves caught up in so-called blessing circles are now turning to the Fair Trading Commission to find a way to get back their money. But the FTC says there is little they can do to help these people, who have now lost thousands of dollars in what they thought was a safe investment. The Director of Consumer Protection at the FTC, Dava Leslie Ward, spoke to the Morning Report about the most recent response regarding these blessing circles, or as she calls them, pyramid schemes.
Since the big presentation that we did for BARC, which is the Barbados Association of Retired Persons, on the said blessing circles and the FTC's limited ability to address these circles, we actually got some complaints from persons who had invested their money, quote unquote, invested their money in this circle and had lost it. So we got those complaints up to Monday. So it is with that we are really trying to get the word out there to consumers that if you do participate in this scheme, it is at your own risk, and there is a high likelihood that you will, in fact, lose your money.
There is legislation which speaks to certain types of pyramid schemes, but the FTC director says, unfortunately, blessing circles are not covered.
Our legislation addresses one particular type of pyramid scheme. That is where you are having goods and services being offered in addition to the recruitment of persons to come into the scheme. So our legislation, that is the type that is contemplated under the Consumer Protection Act, Section 23. This blessing scheme, this blessing circle, the model that we are seeing at the FTC is not like what is in Section 23. But nevertheless, because we have been inundated with calls from persons who put their money into it and then lost it, we wanted to warn the members of the public that by getting involved in these practices, it is at their own risk, and there is a limited amount that the FTC can do to help the persons recover their money.
That limited amount that the FTC can do to help is in the form of information and a warning for what to look out for.
Are they telling you that you have to bring a specific sum of money? And then are they, in addition to that, telling you that you have to recruit X amount of persons? So when you see that, typically speaking, without any more, once you see just those two elements especially, and then they're promising you this really significant return, chances are it is a pyramid scheme. So what they're doing is they're taking the money from the new recruits. The new recruits are being used to pay for the persons that are already in the scheme. So when you come to a position where there are no more new recruits, the persons who would have already, quote unquote, invested will then lose their money because there is nowhere for that money to then circulate. Usually when you're investing in a legitimate business venture, they usually have like a prospectus which explains the nature of the venture, the types of things that they will be investing their money in, so that you have a clear understanding of the corporate structure, you understand the governance. So those are things that are usually included. So if you're not getting a prospectus, you're not getting a receipt, and you're just handing over thousands of dollars, you really ought to exercise some real caution and think really carefully about it. You may gamble and you may win, but you may gamble and you might not. And from our perspective at the FTC, we're seeing more people who are losing than persons who are gaining. And that obviously.
In other news this morning, the Tourism Minister, Senator Lisa Cummins, has condemned people who she says have been trying to paint a negative picture of the industry amid the efforts to beat back COVID-19 on the island. Her comments come against the background of information circling about an event planned for Barbados next month by an overseas-based travel company called Haywire Weekend. It will see visitors come to the island for a set number of exclusive activities at two so far unnamed resorts from July the 2nd to the 6th. And Minister Cummins says there is no need to fear The event coming to Barbados, pointing to the successful return of cruises to the island this week.
Haywire may not be a BTMI event or sponsored by the BTMI, and our role so far in engaging with the organizers has been to provide guidance on protocols as we do for all travelers. But it is also the BTMI's job to direct travel safely to Barbados. So on Monday, for example, a cruise ship carrying 600 passengers arrived here. We welcomed them. We spent the last year working with the cruise lines to have everyone on the same page, and it was the first cruise anywhere in the entire Western Hemisphere. We brought it here and we did it safely. It would be no different for the organizers of Haywire or any other group from anywhere in the world, white, black, yellow, blue, proposing to travel to Barbados.
Senator Cummins says everything is being done to ensure that tourism can return safely to the island for those who depend heavily on the sector to earn a living.
Barbados is safe and open for business for tourism as long as our officials do exactly what they do every day: guide potential visitors on how to observe and to have our protocols enforced. It is a credit to our officers in market and to their work that every single day, we are being approached by people wanting to choose Barbados over any destination. That is who we are, and that is what we do. And I am incredibly proud to be a Barbadian that despite the ravages of COVID, people still want to come to our island to enjoy it safely.
We'll take a break here and come back and look at the local COVID-19 situation along with the international and regional COVID-19 updates. More good news leading our COVID-19 update says no new COVID-19 positive cases were recorded here in Barbados on Tuesday, and this is out of the 417 tests conducted by the Best Dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. There are 22 people in isolation now, and the number of recorded COVID-19 cases since March last year remains at 4,032. 1,951 females and 2,081 males, and there have been 47 casualties from the virus. The Public Health Lab has carried out 174,587 tests, A total of 84,300 first doses have now been administered under the National Vaccination Program for COVID-19, and 61,664 people have been vaccinated with the second dose of the vaccine and are fully vaccinated. Stakeholders are stressing the need to urgently increase the rate of vaccinations within the local tourism industry. Speaking during its annual general meeting, the chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Jeffrey Roach, said this continues to be a challenge. According to him, the average percentage of staff vaccinations is in the range of about 30%.
Some members have reported vaccination percentages among their staff being north of 50%, but these are few and far between. The BHTA has engaged the BWU on the issue of the need to increase the vaccination rate among employees in the industry as one of the measures to assist in a speedy recovery of the industry. For many persons who are willing to travel, one of the primary concerns for them is safety. To this end, it is critical that we do all that we can to provide such.
Mr. Roach reveals that the BHTA has sought a meeting with the Ministries of Tourism and Labour, as well as the Barbados Workers Union, to press discussions on vaccinations as well as testing of staff members. He says the BHTA also feels strongly that the country needs to get on the UK's green list for leisure travel, and he believes this must be done as quickly as possible if Barbados is to see some benefit through the rest of the year.
And to this end, a letter has been submitted to the Minister of Tourism indicating that the BHTA's concerns and the need to address specific measures to increase Barbados' likelihood of getting onto the UK's green list. And what we certainly would have done is we would have reviewed the criteria that the UK has identified for the green list and raised those as specific areas that we as a country need to address and ensure that we can improve the measures in those areas to increase our likelihood of getting onto the green list.
And as we continue our focus on tourism, we hear that One West Coast Hotel is using novel incentives to get staff to be vaccinated. Coral Reef Club at Porter St. James has not only embarked on educational seminars, but is also offering cash. Wendy Burke spoke with Director of Coral Reef and Sandpiper, Kieran Capaldi, and tells us more about what the property is doing to deal with the return of guests in this COVID-19 environment.
Director of Coral Reef Club, Kieran Capaldi, says they have been taking a multi-pronged approach to getting their staff vaccinated. She says while many have hesitancy toward it, they believe education could help show some the merits of taking the shot.
Well, we had a doctor from BAMP come and talk to the staff who were not vaccinated. And we also showed a video of a doctor who stayed with us. He stays here every year. He's from the States, but he's of Bajan heritage, and so he had also done an interview for us, really giving his opinion, and he was involved with the trials in the United States and so on. So we gave the staff a lot of information for them to make their own decisions, and we decided that we wanted to give them an incentive. At the end of the day, it's their choice, but we offered $500 for those who have either been vaccinated or who will be vaccinated by the end of August.
She said the hotel group was doing its part to help the island reach herd immunity as the industry stood to benefit overall. The details of the raffle were outlined.
It's really more of a raffle. It's just simply put together the idea of an incentive. In these times, we felt that cash incentive would be appreciated by people. Obviously, we respect that some won't do it because of religion or their own personal feelings about it. But
or health.
Or absolutely, or health. And our position has always been talk to your doctor. We care about the staff, we care about our guests who are all vaccinated because people are not really visiting if they're not vaccinated right now.
Guests looking to book have been asking if the staff at the property are vaccinated against COVID-19.
Obviously, it would be a comfort for people who are fully vaccinated, but it'll be a while before they can go to a destination that that may be in that position. But I think Barbados should try and aim to be one of those countries that has a high vaccination rate. It's going to be good for the island to take us as back to normal as we can get, really.
The hotel will continue to follow all protocols, but the pandemic has taken a chunk out of their bottom line.
Well, summer's been very disappointing because obviously we're not on the green list for the United Kingdom, so it means that people will have to quarantine when they get back to the UK, and it also means some people just don't think that they're able to travel from the UK still. So our bookings have been very much affected by that, and we're not going to get really beyond 25% in any months over the summer.
Mrs. Capaldi says the hotel is looking forward to a good winter season. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
There's continued concern for unvaccinated children who are not yet eligible to get protected because of their age. And now a critical meeting to determine when that may change for the children as young as 5 is on the cards.
The numbers keep falling.
A 94% decrease from COVID-19 cases since January of this year.
But the concern continues to rise for children, who now account for about 25% of total COVID-19 cases in the U.S.
Low risk does not mean no risk.
A CDC study examined more than 200 young people between the ages of 12 and 17 who were hospitalized for COVID-19 at the beginning of the year. While there were no deaths, the data showed nearly a third were admitted to intensive care units and roughly 5% had to be ventilated.
As adults get vaccinated and become more protected and immune to this virus, the virus is still in the community looking for a vulnerable host, and pediatric patients fit that description.
Right now, children 12 and older are eligible to get a COVID-19 vaccine. This week, Moderna's CEO said his company's vaccine will likely be available for children as young as 5 in early fall. Thursday, FDA vaccine advisors will meet to discuss whether to authorize COVID-19 vaccines for children 11 and younger.
What I think we're going to do at that meeting is we're going to decide what the parameters are for approval, either through emergency use authorization or for licensure down to for much younger age groups.
And speaking about the children, Thursday is always a special day for youngsters here on Morning Barbados. Right, Pearson?
That's absolutely correct. Today, a couple of them are asking the question, the future talks. Healthy Caribbean children? They'll get the answers to that when they join me right here. They're part of the youth arm of Healthy Caribbean Coalition. We'd also today be meeting a young woman who has a passion for science. And so she's looking through her new company to be able to bridge the gap between beauty and science. So we'll talk to her a little bit about that as well. And there's a young man who has a passion too for football and track and field. Now he has his degree in sports coaching. He'll join us to tell us a little bit about his journey too. So those are just a few who will be joining me when you join me on Morning Barbados. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Pearson. We'll take a break here and then we'll come back and talk about more tourism news affecting Barbados. Government is pledging further assistance to businesses in the tourism sector affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Senator Rudy Grant, says government has agreed to pay a low-season grant to businesses. According to him, between March 1st and July 1st this year, the state will provide approved entities 20% of the investment through the BEST program.
This is being undertaken in recognition of the fact that it is anticipated that for this period, long-stay visitor arrival numbers will continue to be low. It has also been agreed that there will be a further assessment of this 30 days prior to July 1 to determine if this facility should be further extended. And we are about to have further discussions with the government in relation to that. Of course, the environment is pretty much the same as it was previously. There's also been agreement by government that during the period of any national lockdown, where businesses are required to close, the government will provide 50% of the funding for the payroll of the approved tourism enterprises as a grant.
In other news, the Ministry of Education has received over 1,600 subject deferral requests for CSEC and 134 Caribbean Advanced Proficiency exams. They range from 1 to as many as 6 or 7 subjects. The Deputy Chief Education Officer, Dr. Roderick Rudder, provided the update during yesterday's televised press conference.
At this stage, the ministry is also well advanced in the preparation for the administration of this year's examinations, the written exams will commence on the 28th of June and run until the 6th of August. Additionally, we have also been able to take advantage of the opportunity presented by CXC to be able to offer students the opportunity to write as many of their paper ones, which would be the multiple choice papers, using the e-testing platform this year.
Dr. Rudder also provided an update on the review requests submitted for the 2020 examinations.
At the CSEC level, we're approximately at 98% completion of the return of the results of the reviews. At this stage, there are approximately 44 candidates who are awaiting the results of their request for reviews at the CSEC level, and only about 7 candidates at the CAPE level to have their results returned. And we are working closely with the Caribbean Examinations Council and the schools to ensure that we are able to resolve all of the requests for reviews that have been submitted to the Caribbean Examinations Council.
The minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Marcia Cattle, says the blue economy holds endless possibilities for allowing Barbados to meet its sustainable development goals, along with creating opportunities for people and investment. She made the comments during the Blue Bonds webinar hosted by the IDB Invest.
Everything from CMOS farming, which is a growing industry worldwide, to electrical boat design to make sure that we also align our blue economy targets with our mitigation targets to be fossil fuel free also by 2030. And so electrical boat design and building is something that we're very much interested in. To offshore wind and solar, to hydrogen energy generation and storage.
Let's look at sporting news now. And the West Indies will be taking on South Africa in the first of 2 Betway Test matches in St. Lucia starting today. And newly appointed captain Craig Brathwaite is upbeat about the challenge. Here's Sean Green with more.
The West Indies haven't beaten South Africa in a test series for close to 3 decades, if you can remember that boycotted test right here at Kensington Oval. But skipper Brathwaite is hoping to beat the tourists yet again in the Caribbean. The captain says that they are bringing the winning momentum and high standards set against Bangladesh and Sri Lanka into this test series.
I think for us it's a continuation of the good things we started from January in Bangladesh, and for me it's quite simple. We just got to keep the same attitude we had and discipline, and I think results will take care of itself once we do the small things right. And I think as a team, you always obviously you want to bat well, you want to bowl well, and you want to feel well. And I think, as a team, once we keep the attitude, as bowlers, we sticking to the plan. As batters, pretty much the same thing. For me, it's a whole team effort. And, for us, we just want to keep that standard, pretty high.
He added that his stint in England with Gloucestershire has done his game a world of good.
The stint with Gloucester, it was good, challenging, obviously the weather at times, but I think it was a very good experience for me as a batsman and as a cricketer on a whole. I learned a lot from obviously Gloucester. They're obviously a good team, and I really look forward to representing West Indies in this series.
And with no final decision on the final 11 just yet, especially the opening pair, Bradford says that he would be happy with whosoever he opens the innings with, whether Shea Hope or Kyron Powell, as both are quality players.
All 13 players, they put themselves in contention. And also you have Shea Hope and Kieran Powell, two quality players, along with myself, as options for opening. And as I said, as we discussed a little later today, we'll come up with the best. But I think Shea Hope and Kieran Powell, two quality players. Always enjoy, playing with them.
They test both off at 10 a.m. Sean Green, CBC Sports.
And live coverage will be carried right here on CBC Radio 94.7 FM. Meanwhile, South African captain Dean Elgar says they will not be underestimating the Windies' bowling attack, even though Shannon Gabriel won't be playing.
There must be something special about each player that's obviously selected within the West Indian side. So we need to respect them first and foremost. I think if we go in there with that kind of, if we go in with a disrespectful mindset with regards to their bowlers, I think we are not hiding to none. So we need to control what we can control, and that's obviously us preparing in best way. Obviously preparing in the conditions that we aren't too used to, but we've had a few very good days of preparation going forward. So no, we definitely don't see this West Indies attack being less now without Shannon Gabriel. I still feel we need to respect our opposition. We need to obviously earn the right to try and score runs against them. And we know there's a process that we need to follow in order to score the runs.
And we are wishing the Windies boys all the best in this test series. Time now for a look at the weather. It's already feeling warm, up to 31 degrees Celsius, the apparent temperature already at 6:28 in the morning. The actual temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. It's partly cloudy and windy on the outside. The relative humidity stands at 69%, barometric pressure 1014 millibars this morning, and those winds are coming out of the east at 32 kilometers per hour. We'll see a low tide here in Barbados around 2 minutes to 10 this morning. A high tide will come our way at 26 minutes to 5 in the afternoon. Those seas are calm to moderate in open water, no cautions in effect today. Swells are around the 2-meter mark and holding steady. There is a haze outlook in effect though, as a layer of moderate dust haze will cover the island and reduce visibility even across the marine area and the marine space. But it will be partly sunny on the outside with a few brief isolated light showers. And tonight you'll get a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief isolated light showers. In the Lesser Antilles, we're hoping for the best weather in St. Lucia, where the West Indies are, but there will be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few intermittent scattered showers. And hopefully rain doesn't affect play and the guys get a good sleep tonight in the Lesser Antilles. Fair to partly cloudy, it will be there with a few brief isolated showers, mainly before midnight. And internationally, a pretty picture in London. They'll enjoy that, up to 27 today and down to 14. In Frankfurt, cloudy skies prevail. You're getting up to 26 though. In Miami, pretty warm, like here in Barbados. 31, the maximum 26 degrees Celsius. It will be as cool as that. And then you look at New York and Boston and Montreal, all getting up to 24 degrees Celsius today. Boston and Montreal, a better picture as far as the sky is concerned. In Toronto, it's cloudy, like in New York. That's it for this edition of the Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you, everyone. Welcome to Thursday, the 10th of June, 2021. I am Pearson Bowen. And good morning to those of you watching us too on our Facebook streams at CBC Barbados and also at Morning Barbados and on our YouTube channel, Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. Welcome. It's Thursday. It's the day on which we celebrate the excellence of our young people. Our exceptional young people will take center stage today. One of who you will meet today will be a 15-year-old young girl who is building her own business, making it sweet. And we'll get to meet her and talk to her about her journey thus far. We'll also today get a chance to see a little bit of that upcoming video by Maria Marshall, a young environmentalist on the island. We'll share that with you too. It is going to be riveting. You don't want to miss it for sure. But let's get started this morning with a visit all the way to the UK to meet this morning with Mr. Khalil Best Morris. Khalil, good morning to you.
Hi, morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. I can't complain.
That's,
Just dealing
one
with the
should
London
never
weather.
complain. No reason to complain at all. Now, I want to start at the beginning with you. You are a past student of the Allen School. And while at the Allen School, you would have been very much involved in track and field and also in football. How was that for you?
The journey started, to be honest, from I would say from Mr. Watts, encouraging me to join the track team. But when I started in first form, I didn't even make the track team. I
Wow.
wasn't quite good enough. So I had to reevaluate the situation and just adjust the circumstances and train hard. And I made it to the track team the next year, but only on the relay team. But eventually, I just had to put in the hard work, and then was one of the leading runners at the end by the end of the journey.
Hard work always pays off. So there was a battle between track and field and football. Which one won out, do you think?
Well, even though I'm still doing both, but I would say football is my main really hard at, but track and field always find a way into my life. I just can't resist it.
I mean, running is running is running. But in your football career as well, up until now, you've participated in so many divisions. Share with everybody those divisions within which you've competed.
I would say it started at the Barbados Academy, where I started on Barbados Academy when I was like in first form as well. So it started from there, and then from after Barbados Academy, I made the trip to England to permanently, and that's where I attended Uxbridge College, where they were linked with QPR football club, where we had QPR coaches and everyone there, and that's where I found my footing for 2 years. It was difficult at the start, but it was a wide range of players. Even from the trials, there was a good. They probably could have made like 4 teams, but they made it known that only 2 teams would be chosen for the trials. So even from the start, it was pressure. But they made it clear that you have to stick with the academics as well. Like, if you fail, you will be dropped from the team, and you have to really push to fight for your place each and every practice session, match, everything.
Was that a wake-up call for you? Were you always that one who could balance the academics with the sports?
I wasn't the best at academics. Let me not lie, but my mother and my grandmother always told me that it's always good to have a backup plan. They always insisted me to chase my dreams, but they always let me know that I have to have a backup plan, which really relates into the main plan because I had to balance it. But I wasn't the best, but I was dedicated and committed to chasing my dreams.
You understood the value of education from a very young age. Speaking of your mother, Fernella Best, I'm told that she was the manager of one of the Academy's under-15 challenger teams while you played for another team. So how was it?
Funny.
How was it competing against your mother's team?
We actually faced off in the semi-finals, but quick story behind that. My mother, when it came to me playing football, because football was on the weekends with the track, it was usually around school time, so she had work. But with football, she was always available. And my mother was just a cheerleader. Like she was always like cheering me on, like going crazy on the sidelines for me, like playing. And then eventually that turned into cheering for the other players as she got to know them and also
Yes.
giving advice on and off the pitch, if not just football, life situations. So everyone within the whole organization became comfortable with my mother being there. And funny enough, she found her way to management. They still can't figure it out. But there was two teams at Barbados Academy where it was unfair to say A team or B team because we have so much talented players. So one team was called the Warriors, which I was at, and the other team was the Challengers, which my mother was at. But yeah, we entered the same competition and ended up facing off each other at the finals. It was a painful experience, but a good experience. It was just painful that someone had to lose.
So who
And it wasn't me.
won? Who won? Who lost?
Yeah, my mother lost, and we won that.
I could well
We
imagine
went all the way to the final.
Yeah, I could well imagine the discussion in the house leading up to that tournament, that competition, and then the discussion in the house after that competition as well. What kinds of conversations would you have had with your mother as you prepare for games? What would she say?
To be honest, it wasn't even much tension. It wasn't much tension at all. Like, my mother was always like fully supportive of me, like playing football. So she 100% supported me. And coming up to the match, we just didn't spoke on it. And after the match, it was just a comforting hug, you know. I had to let her know it was alright. Maybe you get me next time.
So you took on the role of the parent at that point. But
Yeah, I had to.
football is what got you into the UK, and so you embarked then on a course of study. What were you studying, and what have you achieved so far?
Before I get into that, I just gave a quick appreciation to my grandparents because that's where it all started. Because my grandparents are Bajans, but they, my grandmother left Barbados to come to the UK to become a nurse, while my grandfather joined the Royal Air Force to become an engineer. And they had three children, one becoming my mother. So then, when my mother was a teen, she left Barbados. My grandparents left Barbados and came back. I mean, left England to come back to Barbados, and that's where my mother attended Island School as well. But yeah, so then my mother was back and forth. She met my father in Barbados as well, but then they decided to move to the UK, and that's where I was born. So I was actually born in the UK, but my father split when I was like 3 years old, and then my mother came back to Barbados, and that's where I was raised. So when I was 16, I decided to make the trip to come back to live permanently, a one-way trip to live with my father, who decided to stay in the UK. So that was the journey there. And then I went to college at Uxbridge, and then from Uxbridge, I took a bit of a time off. I would say like a year off from educational studies. Life commitments got into the way of my focus, but eventually I took it back serious again, and I went to university at Roehampton University, where I studied sports coaching for 3 years.
And now you have your bachelor's degree in sports coaching. What does that mean to have that degree? What's sports coaching as a skill, if I could ask it like that?
Well, I'm grateful for the opportunities that I was given before me because the journey wasn't easy. Like I mentioned before, I wasn't best at academics, and with life like getting in the way at times, but I stuck it out. And with coaching, it's something that I want to into eventually, but I will think it's a bit unfair for me to try to commit to it where I still committed to being a player right now. So for me as a coach, when you're coaching children or anyone in particular, like you want to be fully committed because they're looking at you to become better players and everything. So you have to show that devotion and that commitment to coaching and the engagement. And I don't think I could fully offer it right now, but it is within my long-term plan of like helping out and giving back. Eventually, I want to make it easier for players to go from UK to I want to build network and links from UK to Barbados to make it easier for players to travel. But I really got start building networks like Mr. Vavel at Barbados Academy.
Yes.
He's excellent at that.
I love the give back effort on your part. But while there, you're rubbing shoulders with some other international players. You're still playing football. So with which team do you play at the moment?
They currently playing for Racelet Town. It's one of the local teams. We two divisions below Pro at the moment. So the current goal is to continue being fighting for promotion to enter the Premier, and then after the Premier into the semi-pro.
All right, you have a goal mapped up for yourself already. What's your favorite football team of all time?
Liverpool. Has to be Liverpool.
Why does it have to be Liverpool?
It's the best team in the world. It couldn't be anything else.
If you insist.
But I did have some good times at Barbados Academy.
Oh, that's great. And who's your favorite football player?
Steven Gerrard.
I beg your pardon, who's he? I'm sorry, that name is lost on me.
Steven Gerrard was, he's a Liverpool legend. He played in centre mid, and it's just the characteristics, not only as a player, but as a leader. He was captain, and I also became captain of Allen School football team and Barbados Academy. So it's like certain stuff that at that time I used to look at, like not only engaging with the players on the pitch, but off the pitch, because it's a whole commitment as a team to push to win titles or just win a match, because people heads could drop, like, even just be on the bench. So like, it's a whole commitment from everyone to stay engaged as a team.
You spoke earlier about the balancing of your academics with your interest in sports and how sometimes sports can get in the way. But there are lots of young people on Barbados still who are very much interested in sports, but there are some parents who don't see that it should be so. They figure that the child should be focused on the academics. The sport is just for sport. What do you say to that kind of thought?
I would say sport really kept me level in life, not just with academics or just sport in general. It really helped build qualities, because when I joined the Barbados Academy, my confidence level was low. I was reserved. I was shy. Like, I wouldn't even be able to do interviews like this. I would have really just run away from the situation. But going through the sporting element helped me develop character and helped me develop the understanding of the direction in life I want to go. And applying academics with it, it helps give you a lift, and sport can actually benefit you in that. Like, for instance, you could go on and get scholarships with for instance, with the Barbados Academy. Currently, they had 36 scholarships in the past and 4 pending at the current moment. So scholarships can help you, sport can help you get a scholarship and help with the academics to achieve. You don't have to even be the best player, because I started at Barbados Academy. Like I said, I didn't even make the track team at Allen School at the beginning, but it just putting me working, and you don't got to be the best. You could eventually become the best, but you don't have to be the best. You just got to be committed and engaged.
Now, you live there in the UK. How do you stay Barbadian while there?
To be honest, I just stay connected with all my friends and my family still back in Barbados. We don't chat every day, but when we do funny time, we just have a long conversation. So I get updates of what's going on. I like to stay connected, and I still go to the I try to find a Caribbean shop to go and buy my Morby. I go there just looking at the stuff. Shirley biscuit, like trying to get the tea time, I just try to stay, got the little elements that is really look forward to, that really just keep me grounded.
Do you get a chance around you where you live to hear a lot of other people with the Bajan accent?
So far, I met one or two, but it will be the older generation, because a lot of the people my age Bajans where I live in at the moment, they were currently born and raised in London, so they know a bit about the Bajan ways, but it's about me teaching them mostly. But it's a good experience. Like, I can't complain.
It is a good experience to meet with you this morning today, Mr. Khalil Best Morris. You are, for us, Khalil, one of our exceptional young people. Thank you for reaching across the waters to connect with us. We want to salute you in all that you're doing. We hope one day soon you'll bring that talent you bring it back here to Barbados so we can benefit from it as well. But we look forward to greater things coming from you, Khalil. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Khalil Morris, track and field, football. He's now living in the UK. He's got his bachelor's in sports coaching, and he speaks strongly of the benefit of sport and education. We'll be back after this. We have 13 minutes to go to the hour of 7 o'clock as we continue this Thursday to celebrate some of Barbados' best, our young people who are doing exceptional things and making us all very, very proud and just inspiring other young people to do the same. Just before we get into our next guest, I want to remind you, if you do know of any other exceptional young people, and they could be at anything at all, you just send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Send us the email. We'll be very, very grateful for you introducing us to them. We want to celebrate who they are. This next young person with whom we will be interacting is a recipient of a Barbados exhibition, and so we want to know what's up with her. Her name is Cara Cumberbatch. Cara Cumberbatch, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing today, Cara?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Now, you are currently studying medicine at the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill. But you would have received your Barbados exhibition because you would have achieved your associate degree in sciences, Cara. When you got the news that you were the recipient of an exhibition, how was that for you?
The first initial response was a little bit of disappointment because I was really going for the scholarship. But otherwise, I was very excited because it was very important for me to get the exhibition so that I could further my education in medicine.
You're a very focused young woman, aren't you?
Yes.
So focused in sciences as well. Why sciences?
From a young age, I had an interest in how things were and how things develop. So that was the beginning for me.
How things work and how things develop. So tell me about this, in the earlier stages, some of the things you would have dabbled in so that you could understand how they work. What kind of dissecting did you do so you get a clearer understanding of the mechanics of these things?
I didn't really do much dissecting. At first, I was thinking of doing physics. I really liked physics. If I didn't want to be a doctor, I would be a physicist. But I really like how the body works, and it's interesting to see how the ideas of medicine have developed so far. So I'm very excited to see where I could go in medicine.
With all this studying that you're doing in medicine and wanting to be a physicist and to know how the body works, what have you found out that perhaps we don't know?
Um, there's a lover, and people were every day to discover it. Research into the development of our bodies and even small things like how we see and how we think are things that people every day are trying to understand completely.
And are you any closer to understanding how all of it connects and works?
I try my best every day.
So you're currently in your 4th year as a medical student. How many more years
Yeah.
before you complete?
So I have one more year and then I do my final exam and then I have a year of internship.
It feels like forever, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But one day coming soon, girl, you're going to become that doctor, that physicist that we're looking forward to celebrating. But all along the journey, your passion for sciences has led you also to dabble in a whole host of other things like the creation of beauty products. So talk to me about the business that you've opened now.
Well, the business that I have opened, when I originally entered medicine, I didn't think that this is what I would be interested in. I wanted to be a pediatrician. But when I went to Barbados Community College, we had different projects to do. And when I did the industrial chemistry project, it was very interesting to think about the things that I could develop from my love of chemistry and my love of the body. So for me, beauty was something that I am also still learning for myself and the definition for myself. But it was important for me that health would be a main component in anything that I do.
So you've opened your what's the name of your business?
Honest Body Care.
Honest Body Care. On the screen right now next to you, you can see some images right there. And in the box of Honest Body Care are some samples, really, as we look at it, of some of the products that you make. You make the Honest soap bar. Is it all natural?
Yes, it's all made with natural ingredients that is sourced locally and overseas.
Okay, so it's natural, both local and overseas. So you have the soap bar, you have the body butter, and what's that last one, the bottle there?
A scrub.
Oh, and the scrub. Is that all that you create so far in Honest Body Care?
Currently, those are the 3 main ingredients, but as soon as possible, I like to do lotions and body washes and eczema cream or any other thing that I can think of will be coming up soon.
Mm-hmm. You say that your purpose is to bridge the gap between beauty and health. So help me understand what you're trying to achieve there.
For me, my journey with beauty products started because I personally have eczema. So when I first created the product, the body butter was the main thing created because I wanted something that was natural to help with the ailment that I was experiencing that would not cause my sensitive skin to have any reaction. So that originally was the reason for my wanting to bridge health and beauty. A lot of products out there say they're natural, but a lot of the ingredients are harmful. So I want to use ingredients that help you feel beautiful but don't damage your body in the process.
So you were part of your early stages of testing. You yourself, you were part of the testing.
Yeah.
Where do you do this business? Where is it? From home? From a lab at school? How do you do it?
I do it from home. Currently, I have taken over my family's dining room. And yeah, with all the products and the development, yeah.
But as you've just said, product and development, it will require some research as well. So you're the one who's doing all of this, or do you have a team of people who are assisting you from research to development?
I do research to development. I use science-based things that I find online, and my family are very helpful in testing the products with me and using them and telling other people about it.
How do you deal with failure? Because, you know, it's all well and good to have your idea and you want to be able to bring it to the best fruition, but sometimes you meet some stumbling blocks, so you have a bit of failure. How do you cope with failure?
I try to remind myself of why I'm doing it. For instance, the body butter when I first started, it took me about 2 years to get it correct, that it is made and it doesn't melt and stuff like that. And it's frustrating at times, but I try to remember what is my purpose. I want people to experience good things without the harmful effect.
So Honors Body Care exists now, and so now you're doing medicine, you're running your business, you've taken over the family dining room. Mommy and Daddy understand this clearly because, you know, it's all right. She's doing this for her own good. You're while applying your medicine as well. So what's next for you, Cara, and what's next for Honors Body Care, do you think?
Next for Honors Body Care first is to expand the product line and eventually in the next 2 years get it in to the region and eventually international. For me, I would like to do dermatology, and so I'm hoping to get into the degree in Mona or in the UK.
You know, there are other beauty products on the market, one. There are other beauty products that also want to attend to health conditions, two. What makes yours stand out, do you think?
I think what makes mine stand out is the fact that I have a great understanding of the chemistry and the biology behind these things. I take great pride in studying how these things will affect, even if it has benefits like the side effects and everything before I bring things to fruition. A lot of information is out there and it's important to have an understanding of what you're doing before you give people products. I take great care in my dedication to making sure that people are getting the best that there is.
Have you given consideration to branding, to protecting your intellectual property, to all of those other bits around the business as well?
Yes, I've thought about it. I will have to seek help because I have no idea. When I started, business was so far-fetched. I never thought that I would be in business, but I have tried my best to connect and things like the Barbados Youth Trust. I try to connect with people like those so that I can get more information.
Excellent. So you're networking in that kind of way. How can people avail themselves of Honors Beauty products?
So we have a website, honorsbodycare.com, that you can go on and check out the products and to see the descriptions and the ingredients of the product.
So here, this is the website, honorsbodycare.com. And that's honors with the apostrophe in it as we spell it out?
No, honors, AUNAS, bodycare.com.
All right, great. And on this website, then, we get a sense of the range of products. We get some customers' review, and we also get a little bit about the pricing. And you're also available on Instagram. Same thing, Honors Body Care, and you're good to go. And we get to see how it really, really works. We can experience it for ourselves. Would you eventually soon be retailing these locally in a beauty care store, in a pharmacy, anywhere?
Yes, that is the goal, is to go into stores in Barbados so that it's easily accessible to the public, but I have to fine-tune some things before we do that.
This is so exciting, Cara. We really want to commend you on what you've been able to achieve thus far. Something tells us you're going to be excellent as you go forward. So, Cara Cumberbatch, today we want to thank you for joining us and to sharing with us more about Honors Beauty Care. And we want to wish you the very best only, because you are for us an exceptional young person. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Cara Cumberbatch, soon to be Dr. Cara Cumberbatch. We're back with more and the news after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
With a look at the news, once again, here's Shane Seeley.
Leading your headline news at 7. Over the last few days, we've been hearing that the Fair Trading Commission has been bombarded with calls from many people who are involved in so-called blessing circles, hoping for help in getting back thousands of dollars they would have invested. The Director of Consumer Protection there says that there's little the Commission can do, as David Leslie Ward updated the morning report on the most recent response to what she calls a pyramid scheme.
Since the big presentation that we did for BARC, which is the Barbados Association of Retired Persons, on the said blessing circles and the FTC's limited ability to address these circles, we actually got some complaints from persons who had invested their money, quote unquote, invested their money in this circle and had lost it. So we got those complaints up to Monday. So it is with that we are really trying to get the word out there to consumers that if you do participate in this scheme, it is at your own risk, and there is a high likelihood that you will, in fact, lose your money.
The Tourism Minister, Senator Lisa Cummins, is in the news again, and she's this time condemning people who she says have been trying to paint a negative picture of the industry amid efforts to beat back COVID-19 on the island. Her comments come against the background of information circulating about an event planned for Barbados next month by an overseas-based travel company called Haywire Weekend. Now, this will see visitors come to the island for a set of exclusive activities at 2 so far unnamed resorts from July 2nd to the 6th. Senator Cummins, for her part, says there is no need to fear the event coming to Barbados, pointing to the successful return of cruises to the island this week.
Haywire may not be a BTMI event or sponsored by the BTMI, and our role so far in engaging with the organizers has been to provide guidance on protocols as we do for all travelers. But it is also the BTMI's job to direct travel safely to Barbados. So on Monday, for example, a cruise ship carrying 600 passengers arrived here. We welcomed them. We spent the last year working with the cruise lines to have everyone on the same page, and it was the first cruise anywhere in the entire Western Hemisphere. We brought it here and we did it safely. It would be no different for the organizers of Haywire or any other group from anywhere in the world, white, black, yellow, blue, proposing to travel to Barbados.
Senator Cummins says everything is being done to ensure that tourism can return safely to Barbados for those who depend heavily on the sector to earn a living. Now, no new cases of COVID-19 for a second straight day of testing, as the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory recorded another day on Tuesday of negative results from the 417 samples tested. There are still 22 people in isolation, however, and the number of recorded COVID-19 cases since March last year stands at 4,032. That's 1,951 females and 2,081 males, and there have been 47 casualties from the virus. The Public Health Lab has carried out 174,587 tests since February last year. A total of 84,300 first doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered under the National Vaccination Program. Additionally, 61,664 people are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Stakeholders are stressing the need to urgently increase the rate of vaccinations within the local tourism sector. Meanwhile, and speaking during its annual general meeting, the chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Jeffrey Roach, said this continues to be a challenge. According to him, the average percentage of staff vaccinations is in the range of 30%.
Some members have reported vaccination percentages among their staff being north of 50%, but these are few and far between. The BHTA has engaged the BWU on the issue of the need to increase the vaccination rate among employees in the industry as one of the measures to assist in a speedy recovery of the industry. For many persons who are willing to travel, one of the primary concerns for them is safety. To this end, it is critical that we do all that we can to provide such.
And finally, in our headline news this morning, the Pan American Health Organization has called attention to the slow rate of COVID-19 vaccination in Latin America and the Caribbean, with the director, Dr. Carissa Etienne, warning that controlling the virus will take years if the current trend persists. While the United States has fully vaccinated more than 40% of its population, she says the pace is much slower here in the Americas.
Even countries that have had vaccination campaigns for months, like Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, have still only managed to protect around 3% of their populations. And this situation is particularly acute in Central America and the Caribbean. Just 2 million people have been fully vaccinated in Central America, and less than 3 million in the Caribbean. Some countries like Guatemala, Trinidad and Tobago, and Honduras have yet to administer enough doses to protect just 1% of their populations.
And that's our 7 a.m. headline news. I'm Shane Seeley. Back to you, Pearson.
Shane, thank you. It's now 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a break here. And after the break, Crumbs' question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, 8.5 minutes after 7 o'clock. You know that's the time for you now to win with Crumbs Bakery by you giving me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563 to correctly answer today's Crumbs question of the day. Should you win, you are going to win something from Crumbs, absolutely delicious. You will find right down to the very last crumb. You will lick your fingers. So here comes today's Crumbs question of the day. The question is, what are the times and days you can purchase coffee at Crispy's Fried Chicken? What are the times and the days? So two-part question. What are the times and what are the days that you can purchase coffee at Crispy's Fried Chicken? The numbers to call, the only numbers to call to win today are 228-5562 or 228-5563. What are the times and the days you can purchase coffee at Crispy's Fried Chicken? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the numbers. Here we go. Caller number one. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to rise and shine. I hope you're feeling fine. Hello, good morning. I can barely hear you. Good morning, good morning.
Hello?
There you are now. What's your first name?
Angela Miller.
Hello, Angela, give me all. Angela Miller. So, Angela, where are you calling us from?
Map Hill,
What parish is that in?
St. Michael's.
Thank you so much, Angela Miller. So, Angela, what's your answer?
7 o'clock. On Monday to Saturday.
What is 7 o'clock?
Times
7 o'clock until 12 o'clock? Or until breakfast time? Angela?
7 till
7 until?
the whole day, guess. The whole day.
So 7 to midnight.
Yeah.
Angela, talk to me. 7 to midnight?
Not midnight till about 11.
11 p.m.?
Yeah.
You ever went to Crispy's Fried Chicken at
No,
11 p.m.?
no, I only heard about it. I only heard about it.
Oh, you've only heard about
Yeah,
Crispy's
but I
Fried
ain't
Chicken.
been
So
there yet.
you believe that they're opened to business until 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
You haven't gotten there yet?
No.
Why not?
I just didn't get there because of COVID. I ain't really going up places.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you there say to yourself also, your head, why you don't stop asking me all these questions?
So I guess I must be wrong. So
You think so?
I just try my luck.
You're just trying your luck. So you're saying to me they're open Monday to Angela Miller?
Monday to Saturday.
And you're saying they're open from 7 until they close?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. I can live with that, Angela.
Yeah, I just try my luck.
So do you want me to tell you now that you're right or wrong? Which one do you want me to
Be one, won't it two?
say? So which one do you want me to say?
That I right?
You're asking.
For laughing.
Sorry, I should laugh at you. You're right. You're absolutely right, Angela. I'll take the answer from you. It is Monday to Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Angela.
Oh.
And since you live there in Mappill, take the bus, go down to town and try out Crispies, girl.
I must, yeah, because I hate since they have a crispy chicken. I must.
Yes, you should. You absolutely must. Wear your mask. When you get there, of course, you'll be sanitizing your hand. You keep a little bit of distance, but you will enjoy Crispy's Fried Chicken. You're going to find that either the barbecue, the sauces are really delicious for real, Angela. You're gonna enjoy it. Trust me. You stay right there on the phone, Angela. We will talk to you off the air because we want to make sure that you make arrangements to collect your winnings from Crumbs Bakery. Angela Miller of Mappill, St. Michael, is absolutely right when she says you can get your coffee from Crispy Fried Chicken Monday to Saturday between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day, Monday to Saturday. Well done, Angela. That's it. Now tomorrow, should God spare life, we'll have another question from Crumbs Bakery. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, more of our very exceptional young people.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Fourteen and a half after 7 o'clock now as we continue to celebrate the work of our young people and the things they are doing. And we're happy to be joined this morning by the Healthy Caribbean Coalition's youth arm. And we welcome, as you can see them right there, Kerry Barker. Good morning, Kerry.
Good morning, Mr. Boyd.
She's at the top. Good. She's a project assistant with Healthy Caribbean Youth, and Danielle Walwin is an advocacy officer. Good morning, both of you. Danielle, morning to you specifically now.
Good morning, Mr. Bourne. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. You're saying to all of us, be cool, drink more water, right?
That's it, Carrie and I with that message.
I love it. Now, we got all very excited when we saw via your social media the Future Talks, Future for the Caribbean's Children. Tell us about that. Who'll do so?
Okay,
So,
I can.
Mr. Bourne, perhaps, yeah. Sure, Carrie.
Okay, well, we have for the Healthy Caribbean, as you mentioned, a youth arm, which Danielle will speak about a little bit later. But our series that we spoke to you about, just a little bit of background. There's a Lancet Commission. The Lancet is a global journal that focuses on health, and they have a commission of global child rights experts. And alongside the World Health Organization and UNICEF, they launched a report early last year, 2020, called A Future for the World's Children. And it was a question, a future for the world's children. What future are we leaving them? And this was indeed before COVID reached pandemic potential. So that doesn't even account for the massive disruptions that COVID-19 has caused on our children. So we wanted to kind of take it and center it in the Caribbean and call it, well, a future for the Caribbean's children. What future are we leaving the Caribbean's children, particularly as our focus, as you see from the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, on health. But it's very important that health be a multi-sectoral and our children's future be a multi-sectoral action. It's not just the Ministry of Health, it's the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Economic Empowerment, the Ministry of People's Empowerment. So we kind of want to launch our concerns. It will be a series of articles for youth and by youth, and it'll be written by our fellow Healthy Caribbean youth who are across the region, and Danielle's going to tell you a little bit more about that.
Yes, Danielle, let me hear you tell me a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So, as Carrie mentioned, the Healthy Caribbean Youth is the youth arm of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. So it is youth and young professionals from across the region. We're talking all the way from Antigua and Barbuda to Trinidad and Tobago, Belize, all focused on this idea of prevention and control of non-communicable diseases. And I think what's really unique about this set of people is that we come from diverse backgrounds. So we have a group of young people who are educators, researchers, architects, lawyers, nurses. They come from a mental health background. So they're all able to contribute their perspectives in our network, but then also to take our message into their wider networks as well. And so the HCC has always prioritized the youth voice and meaningfully engaging youth, whether it is in our, creating our documents and creating spaces for youth to essentially just have a voice, empower them, allow them to share what's important to them. And so in terms of what we've done with Healthy Caribbean Youth, again, we have made our voices known on the digital platform. I know you had our youth technical officer, Mr. Pierre Cook, on recently talking about our front of package nutrition warning labeled call to action. So that was one of the Healthy Caribbean Youth initiatives. We are very focused on mental health. We're very focused on cultivating healthy school environments. So whether we're on social media or putting on webinars for youth, by youth, we're ensuring that the youth voices are heard. So the Future Talks series is another way that we can do that.
There's such power in young people when they come together for one cause. And I would have heard you, Carrie, talk about, you want to encourage the ministry of this, the ministry of that, the ministry of whomever. But oftentimes, I think the change starts even further down at the bottom when young people agitate for that change. And I suppose that's what you're seeking to do here, where you actually ask families of young people to be able to say, this is the way in which we want to make the change. These are the healthy conditions that we want to live under. And therefore, we're saying to you, like it or lump it. We're pushing for that change. We're going to knock down some doors. Is that what you're actually trying to achieve here?
Yeah. Yes. And as Danielle mentioned, we do advocate for healthy environments. And we start from... Well, of course, with COVID, we haven't been able to go interact as much as we would have wanted to. but, you know, interact with the children in the school environment, interact with the teachers, interact with the parents, go out into the community, such that when this message reaches the ministers, we already have a group of people that say, yes, this is what we want. This is our environment. We want to advocate for it, and we want a healthy one.
So, Danielle, are you getting the sense that your voice is being heard at those levels to effect the kind of change you're seeking to effect?
I would have to say yes. Of course, there's always more work to do. We're always advocating for, you know, meaningful engagement of youth. You know, Pierre would have been on recently talking about the fact that when we're speaking about policy, when we're speaking about programs, youth need to be in those spaces. So that's something that the agency advocates for on a regular basis. It's one of our core values. I would say that yes, our voices are being heard. I would even mention our front of package nutrition warning labeling. You know, we had, this message was being, you know, circulated throughout the region. We had the Ministry of Health across the region, especially in St. Lucia, actually, you know, listening to the voices of youth and acknowledging these messages. So I really do think that the messages are being heard. Carrie, I'm not sure if you have any other examples.
Well, yeah, I agree. But as Daniel said, there's always room for more. So we've had, even in Barbados, so you've noticed our t-shirts. We also represent the Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. And I know some people may or may not have heard that Barbados is launching a school nutrition policy come this September. And we would have advocated for that. And then I think our voices were heard, and then they selected a youth representative, Abigail, to go and join. So she had an instrumental role in the consultations for that policy. So I think people are picking up, they are starting to hear, they are recognizing that the youth voice is important, especially in matters that concern us. So obviously, as we say, keep saying there's room for improvement, but we will not say that what we have seen so far is negative.
So here we are now with the Future Talks, A Future for the Caribbean's Children, and with a series of articles coming out from when until when, and how can we begin to see and read these articles?
Okay, so we're still finalizing that process, but for sure you can check out the Healthy Caribbean Coalition website. It's www.healthycaribbean.org. We will be posting them on our pages, but we're also, which is why we reached out to you initially, we also would like to get a wider audience. So we'd like to see our articles in regional media houses. We've reached out to partners across the Caribbean. So we're waiting to hear back. But for sure on our channels, you will see it. We'll try to post on our social media as well, social cards that summarize the articles, direct you to the articles. As Daniel mentioned, webinars. This kind of came from our webinar series, the Future Talks, where we've discussed topics such as mental health and physical activity. So you can go back and watch those on our YouTube channel, but we're looking to launch this probably starting mid to late July. And then until October, November, because November 20th is World Children's Day, and that will kind of be our closing.
Okay, Danielle, the contributors, though, where are they coming from? Or do you have specific people who will be writing the articles? Or is it just open to anyone who wants to contribute, any young person who wants to contribute?
So we do have, the articles are being created by Healthy Caribbean Youth. So we're talking Healthy Caribbean Youth from across the region, again, Antigua and Barbados, so you're really looking at those voices, again, heard. As Carrie would have mentioned, we've extended the invitation to media houses across the region to share these messages. But saying that to say, we are always excited to be advocating for and creating a space for youth voices. So if any young person is interested in writing about something related to what the HCC stands for, we are happy to create the space for that as well.
Great. No, that's good to hear. Just broadly then, if we can, how can young people become a part of the youth arm of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition?
So we would invite them to contact us. I can leave my email address, but also we're available on social media as well. If you send a message on social media, just expressing your interest, and then there's a process that we go through, including completion form, having a meet and greet so that we can get to know you and get to understand your interests and passions. But as we know, there's so much power in numbers, and having young people really continuing to advocate for a healthier Caribbean is critical. So we are happy to have the numbers.
While you're there, Danielle, tell me what inspired you to get involved?
Get involved with the Healthy Caribbean Youth?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just give a really quick background. So the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, as I mentioned, has always prioritized the youth voice. And so, from inception, they've always found a way to engage youth throughout. And so I was inspired, honestly, by the advocates that have come before me. If I think about Mr. Pierre Cook, for example, who came on to the Healthy Caribbean Coalition team in 2019, he's an inspirational advocate. Personally, I'm just very passionate about health, very passionate about public health. Carrie and I talk about this all the time. And, there aren't many spaces for young people to advocate for health, and especially regional spaces like what the HCC provides. So I'm just really glad that I'm able to advocate for something that I'm so passionate about, and that the HCC not only allows us to share our opinion, but really provides a space again to empower young people. So I'm just glad to be in this space.
Well done. Kerry, what about you? What is it that spurred you to actively get involved in the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, in the youth arm?
Okay, so, Daniel and I share this in common, but we have our parents are doctors, and I think both of us kind of said, thanks, but no thanks. I appreciate what you do, but that's not for me. But I was still, especially growing up, seeing my parents and seeing what they go through. And I was still very interested in health, but I kind of wanted to be on the other end of it, not in treatment, but in sort of public health and advocating for policy and sort of helping the health system to improve from that aspect. So in looking around, I kind of heard of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. I called them up. I spoke to Miss Maisha Hutton, and she was like, yes, sure, come along. And I would have met Danielle as well before from the Ministry of Health. And we were both youth advocates. We were both youth on the team over there. We kind of also became involved with the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. And then we expressed a desire to go further with the youth. And we took that to our superiors, and they said, yeah, sure, go ahead. But we want you to lead it for youth by youth. And that's kind of how the Healthy Caribbean Youth came about.
Right. Do you get sufficient men, young boys, young men coming in to support you? Because, we often see the female faces. Are you getting sufficient males volunteering to be a part of this?
Define sufficient, because I would say, yes, we have males, but it still probably is pretty female dominated. But as Danielle mentioned, I think Mr. Pierre Cut has been on your show before. Yes, so he definitely will be one of our, he is one of our original, he's part of the leading team. But we could use more males, so that's an open call. If there are any males who are interested in health, who are interested in health policy, please let us know.
What do you say, Danielle?
No, I would agree with Carrie. And I do think, though, that what has worked to our benefit is that we have expanded, again, because we're using this multi-sectoral background. So we do see, and it's well known that persons in public health tend to be more female dominated. But because we've opened up the scope and we've invited people from all backgrounds, I think that has allowed us to get some more males in as well.
That's great. So, folks, we've got to keep an eye out for these young ladies and these young people as they engage with us on health, really, in health of the Caribbean's children. Look out for the Future Talks, a future for the Caribbean's children, and it's going to be available on the Healthy Coalition Barbados Facebook and website, so we can actually read those articles. And from July right through till October, ending in November, we will be able to see those articles, engage with the articles, engage in the sense that you create discussion around those articles, but move to action coming out of those discussions as well. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Kerry Barker, who is a project assistant, and Danielle Walwyn, an advocacy officer with Healthy Caribbean Coalition, the youth arm. And good luck with all of this. We will be tracking it with you. We are available. Contact us. You know how to find us. We'll be happy to share with everyone the work that you're doing. All right?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Morton. Thanks so much for having us.
You're very welcome. Thank you, ladies, as well. More of our exceptional young people after this break. 29 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. Still to come, we'll get a peek inside the mind of our young environmentalist Maria Marshall and her film In Solidarity with the Ocean. Can't wait to share that with you in just a little while. But right now, let's continue to celebrate some more young, exceptional people on Barbados. Sakura Vaughn is a student of the St. Michael School. Good morning to you, Sakura.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning to the viewers.
Good morning indeed to you. Did I say your first name correctly?
Yes, please.
All right. It's a different first name, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, do you have any idea of its origin?
It's actually Japanese.
What does it mean?
And Japanese cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom?
Yes, please.
Oh, really? So that means that you're sweet. Well done. Well done. Well done to your parents for just selecting that one for you, their delightful daughter. Now, you are a student of the St. Michael School. Give us a sense. How old are you?
I'm 15.
You're 15 years old, and you already own and operate your own business. Isn't that something? Why did you decide to become the entrepreneur?
Well, I decided to become an entrepreneur because I always had a love for baking, and I wanted to share my skills with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started my business so I could share my skills with people and still use it to make money.
Smart girl, and to make money. You know, you could have shared your skills with your family and your friends and left it right there. But you decided then to broaden it just a little bit. So how long have you now been owning and operating Make It Sweet?
I've been operating Make It Sweet since February the 11th of this year.
Mm-hmm. So what caused you to I mean, you said you wanted to treat others, but were you before that stage in February baking at all, doing any kind of sweet treats?
Yes, please. I've been baking from the time it was probably 3.
They allowed you in the kitchen to handle those things?
Yes, please.
So Make It Sweet now, you are operating from home and you're baking some of these delicious, look at these delicious donuts. Look at that. What's the topping?
Those are Oreos.
Ooh, girl, you got my mouth watering already. Look at So you would have baked the donut and you would have topped it yourself?
Yes, please.
All right. And then what are these?
Cinnamon rolls.
The cinnamon rolls, and the thing on top is what? Is it icing?
Yes, please. Cream cheese frosting.
Wow. And I love the packaging. You're able to do your packaging. You've done all of this on your own?
Sometimes I have assistance from my mother or my sister.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, everything is self-done.
And they allow you to take the lead?
Yes, please.
All right. And this huge cake that you've baked. What is this? Which cake is this?
This is a cookies and cream cake.
Mm-hmm. What flavor is the cake?
It's vanilla with Oreos.
You love sweet things, don't you?
Definitely.
And you are also able to do your own icing?
Yes, please.
Who taught you to ice?
Well, I watched a lot of videos, and then I did a short icing class at my school for our food and nutrition practical, and I just started trying things on my own.
And your cakes look so moist. And you're
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so precise in your hand stroke as you're icing there as well. This is cheesecake. I could tell these are cupcakes,
please.
like cheesecake. Oh, this is nice. I can see the team at the back mouth watering over this. They love cheesecake indeed, with the strawberries at the top. But you do boxed donuts. You do it in all sorts of delightful ways and very fun ways as well. Something tells me making it sweet also caters to things like parties and little gatherings and so forth. Is that what you're able to do?
Yes, please.
So tell me a little bit about setting up the business now. How does it work?
Well, we just made an Instagram, and I would post the pictures of the items I baked, and my siblings and my mother would share them for me. And then as people ordered, we just started building a clientele.
Mm-hmm. And so far you've got quite a good base?
Yes, please.
Who does deliveries?
We don't do deliveries right now.
Oh, so you have to walk up to your door and pick up the order, right?
Yes, please.
How is it at school? Do they know that you do this?
Some of them.
And so now you know that everybody knows. Everybody knows Sakura is making it sweet, doing all of this. So your friends, what do they say about you?
Always tell me how nice they share them for me so others can see them. And some of them even buy stuff for their family members.
Mm-hmm. What kind of dreams do you have about the business?
Well, please, I hope to actually get a physical bakery where people can walk in and just purchase anything every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to have a space where you can do your own baking and also do some retailing as you go as well.
Yes, please.
Have you considered things like your business plan, all of those kinds of big adults that people would have to do?
Well, my sister is doing that for me.
Mm. And so far, so good?
So far, so good.
All right. So, in terms of packaging and labeling, and who came up with the name? With the name, by the way, Make It Sweet.
Well, me and my sister broke it for a few weeks, and then we just came up with Make It Sweet because everything's sweet. So the name just stuck since then.
Yes, yes. So, who was the one who first came up with the words "Make It Sweet"? Though, was it you or your sister?
It was my sister.
So I'm sure, no doubt, she reminds you it was my idea. Right? Is your sister older or younger than yourself?
She's older than me.
Right. For someone who's watching who says, I want to try what Sakura is making now, but I am a diabetic, or I'm very concerned about my sugar consumption and so forth. So while I want to make it sweet, I don't want it too sweet. Can you fulfill such an order?
Yes, please. We can fulfill any order.
Yeah, you're smart, girl. You're smart. We can fulfill any order. So for someone who wants to contact you to fulfill an order, how can they contact you?
They can contact me on Instagram at makeitsweet.bds, or they can message me directly at 284-8370.
284-8370?
Yes, please.
All right. Business, though, because there are other young girls like yourself and other young people like yourself, really, who sometimes are not sure what they want to do, but they know they have a skill at something. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I would give them the advice that to just chase their dreams, because sometimes things turn out better than expected.
So face the dreams and do it.
Yes, please.
How are you dealing with your schoolwork and also your business?
Well, I try to do my schoolwork throughout the day, so in the evening, that's when I do most of my baking.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go to school, usually school finishes at 1, now that we're online. That finish any homework and then go straight into baking.
So you spend the rest of the evening into baking?
Yes, please.
Do you find yourself busy almost all day, every day with baking?
Most days.
Wow. So is there a specific day of the week that you bake on and you say, you know what, I'm taking a break tomorrow? Is that how it works with you?
We usually take a break on Sunday.
Or Sundays is your day of rest. Very good. And we're
Yes,
watching the
please.
Instagram page here of makeitsweet.bds. And we're showing again everybody all of these delicious, very creative works of yours. Look at the pop. You see that? What's that? That's a cake?
That's a brownie cake pop.
It's a brownie. Oh, and so you can do all of those kinds of things.
Yes, please.
So if I said to you, this is what the kind of occasion I want, and I want therefore to be able to have the little ones engage and enjoy their treats with a lolly stick, then you can actually do that for me. That's great. And the blue one, the heart-shaped blue cake there, what's that?
That is a chocolate cake.
It's a chocolate. Would that have been, what kind of occasion would that kind of cake serve?
That was actually a birthday cake, but you can get stuff like that for Valentine's Day or any special occasion.
Okay. So whatever the occasion, we can call you and make it sweet and get it sorted out. And we can make it sweet, have a sweet occasion.
Yes.
So since February, you have been doing all of this. What kinds of, I don't want you to tell me how much money you're making, but are you seeing the kind of return on investment that you would be satisfied to continue?
Yes, please.
I hear the voice. What are you hoping to save up towards something? What's your particular goal from this business?
Well, my goal right now is just to build my clientele and make enough money that I can actually have the space that I want.
What subjects are you doing that are any of the subjects you're doing aligned with your business? And if not, why not?
Well, I'm doing food and nutrition. And just the science subject, so I know how certain things work. Like certain chemical reactions within the food.
That's good. At least you're making sure that everything lines up. Mummy, the role of mummy in all of this now. Tell me what role mummy plays.
Mommy helps me package my items. She usually makes note of some of the orders. She helps me promote it. And that's what mommy does.
Who does the sampling?
Everybody.
Everybody wants a piece of something so they can try it. So what's the next Make It Sweet product that you think that you're trying out right now? You haven't yet put it to market, but you're trying it out because you think this would really do well. What's that you're working on?
Well, right now I'm working on whole cheesecake because they're a bit more complicated than actual cake. So we're working on adding whole cheesecakes to our menu.
Why is that more complicated?
Because there's an art to making whole cheesecakes, making sure it doesn't crack, making sure it keeps the color bright when it's coming out of the pan.
Well, you got to teach
Stuff
me
like
this
that.
now. I want you to tell me because I don't have a clue how to do it. I can light the oven. So tell me, how do you make a cheesecake? What do you need to have?
Well, first in frying pan, you need a good thick crust. You need to mix your cream cheese, the filling, so that it doesn't have any lumps. Cream and good. And then you need to bake this cake, but not too long that gets any cracks or becomes discolored or anything like that, but not too short that the inside is runny when someone cuts into it.
You really know the science of this thing, girl. You really know what you're doing. That is so wonderful. And you're only 15 years old, and you've been doing this, according to you, since you were 3 years old, burning your fingers, but you know you're stuck with it all the way through. And now you're enjoying the fruit of your benefits. I mean, the benefits of your fruit, the labor. And you said to me, eventually you want to be able to own your own, have your own bakery, your space to do your own bakery. and eventually to have your own
Exactly.
storefront where people can actually come and enjoy the range of products. The next thing you're working on is
Yes, please.
perfecting your cheesecake. What about distribution? I know that people walk up to you, but do you hope eventually to have that facility, not
A
just for people
delivery
who
system.
You think you'll have that soon?
We're working on it.
You're smart. Don't let it too much, right? Don't let it too much at all. All right. Ms. Sakura, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Ms. Vaughn, you're a student of the St. Michael's School. They must be so very, very proud of you. Your home economics teacher must be beaming brightly this morning, watching her food and nutrition, watching her student doing so well at what she does. Thank you so much for joining us. You are, for us, one of our exceptional young people. We are immensely proud of you, and we want to walk with you and hold your hand along your journey towards success in Make It Sweet. Of course, folks, you can find Make It Sweet on Instagram. You can give her a call on 284-8370, and let Sakura make it sweet for you. Thank you so much, Sakura. All the best today and all the best for the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Our pleasure indeed. Immense pleasure too, as a matter of fact. All right, we'll take a break right here and we're back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
quickly want to remind you that cricket starts on 94.7, the best 24/7 this morning at 9:45. And you can hear that first test match, West Indies versus South Africa. But stay with us for the lunchtime cricket show and the tea time cricket show. They're going to be engaging, so listen to the commentary and engage in the lunchtime and tea time cricket shows. But right now, as we continue to celebrate our exceptional youth, we're going to share with you a video that tells the story of a little girl who sets out on a mission to clean the ocean. But she finds that she cannot do it alone, and she draws support and encouragement from her friends around the world. Take a look.
The oceans make up 97% of the water that covers the earth, and we have only truly explored about 5% of the ocean. Sadly, mankind has been damaging the oceans for decades, with pollutants destroying coastal ecosystems, all in the name of progress. What are we going to do? This is where I come in.
Whoa, this game is really cool. Hey, you don't want to be late for the beach cleanup, Maria, and don't forget your bag.
Okay, Mom, I won't forget my bag.
Good.
This is a story about how one day I thought I could save the ocean all by myself. One Saturday, I decided to clean up as many beaches as I could. I didn't realize the mammoth task that I had ahead of me. The waters off Barbados are so beautiful, it is hard to believe that there are some people who live their entire lives and never see a view like this. Blazing sun on my back, I set off to pick up as much garbage that I could find on the beaches. To my surprise, it was not just food containers like bottles and straws that I found, but all manner of weirdness seemed to have been discarded on the beach. I mean, check this out. What is this? And there's more of it. I mean, what's going on here? The more beach I walked, the more horrified I became at how nasty and disrespectful people can be towards the ocean that supports so much life and income. I could not believe how much garbage I had collected, but I had to keep going. After all, that was just one beach complete. This is where it gets interesting. This was a beach used by everyone for everything. You see, we tend to forget that we are all green spaces with blue economies. Just look at the greatness of this blue space. So much going on. And with that said, I knew I had my work cut out for me. On goes the gloves and down to work. Little did I know that I was being watched. We will call this guy Coastal Engineer. Hey, seeing the COVID-19 garbage has made its way to the beach as well. Excuse me, sir, what exactly are you doing here?
Look, little girl, I appreciate the fact you are trying to clear all the plastic garbage from the beach, but it requires more than that. What I am doing here is trying to repair the damage caused by climate change, agricultural runoff, and tourist activity with real solutions. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He said some things that really hurt, but were still very true. This is a moment I felt like a little drop in a massive ocean.
Hey Maria, how was your day?
I had a rough day, Mom. I just want to take a shower and go in my room.
Okay.
Hi, Priyanka. People are not listening. They're still destroying our environment. I really feel like giving up. Can you believe the amount of plastics that are being thrown into our oceans around the world?
Maria, I know how you feel. How can one even think of littering our beaches and mangroves? But let's keep spreading the word. I recently visited Tobago with my family, and it was breathtaking. We can only feel energized by all this beauty that surrounds us. I've also met amazing people, like this local young activist who's been fighting for decades to protect sea turtle. I love it when you say we only have one environment and we must protect it. We must also tell people we only have one ocean, so let's protect it. And our solidarity is definitely part of the answer, Maria. Every small step anywhere will add up to great impact. I feel hopeful about our future.
You're right, Priyanka. You just gave me an idea. I think I have the perfect email for a little girl in the Maldives. This was the encouragement that I needed, and I let technology take me on a journey to other parts of the world. This is a little girl, only 6 years old, from the Maldives, who at her tender age knows the importance of the ocean. Hi. So, how was your day? Good. That's awesome. I'm going to ask you a few questions pertaining to the Maldives and how you guys treat the ocean and the environment there. So, how do people in your country treat the ocean? They surf, dive, fish, swim. That is really cool what you guys do there with your ocean, Samaya. And this is my next question. Do your family and friends take care of the ocean? Wow, that's amazing. And this leads me to my last question, Sumaya. How important is the ocean to you? Very important. Wow. So, what have we learned from this? We only have one environment and one ocean, and we must protect it. Yes, Maria. We only have one ocean and we must protect it.
Yes, Maria. We only have one ocean and we must protect it. We will do our part here in the Maldives. We have your back.
My other friend in the Ivory Coast also showed me there is hope with his true passion and great activism for the environment. Hello, Karen. How was your day?
Hi, Maria. My day was great. What about you?
My day was great as well. I am going to ask you some questions pertaining to the ocean and the environment. What are some of the main environmental concerns in your country?
Okay. So the main environmental concern in my country are, first of all, the plastic pollution. That's beyond Abidjan, which is the capital of my country. The majority of cities do not have adequate waste management systems. As a result, plastic pollution is very pronounced. For example, in Bassam, a seaside town a few kilometers from Abidjan, the sea is polluted with large quantities of plastic.
Wow, that is
So, yeah.
of issues
Yeah.
in one place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very serious
Leads me to my next question, which is how do people use the ocean in your country?
In my country, the use of the ocean by the population depends on the geographical situation. In the rural areas, the ocean is mainly used for fishing and is a source of income for the villagers. For people living in urban areas, on the other hand, the ocean is a popular place for recreations and for having fun. And this second aspect generates enough pollution.
If you could only use one word to describe what the ocean means to you, could you tell us?
Okay, this was will definitely be balance. Simply because the ocean is an element that contributes a lot to the balance of the ecosystem, and without which life would be unimaginable for me.
Wow, gotcha, didn't it? Very riveting. Well done. Great work there by Maria Marshall, our young environmental activist. Just goes to show age is just a number. It matters not. It's your passion and your purpose that guides you and leads you. And so she wants us today to take greater attention, pay greater attention to our environment and our ocean. We only have one of each. And so what we do impacts on both of them. All right, that's it for today. It's our pleasure always celebrating our exceptional young people. We do look forward to spending time again with you tomorrow, should God spare life. Have a good day for the crew to all of you. Good morning. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.